Archaeologists. Open tomb raided. 9 times in China. What they found inside shocked everyone. When people mention Xi'an, the capital of Shaanxi Province, China, many will immediately think of the Terracotta army of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. However, few know that this ancient land is home to countless historical secrets, even grander than a living museum. Xi'an was once the capital of 13 glorious dynasties, a place where the marks of many brilliant emperors, talented generals, and remarkable cultural achievements of Chinese civilization have been preserved. Because of its rich history, every time a new construction project is undertaken in Xi'an, engineers and workers proceed with utmost caution, carefully considering every shovel of earth and every meter of land. They understand that each time they dig into the ground, they are at risk of accidentally uncovering a 1,000-year-old treasure, or perhaps even an ancient tomb that has never been recorded in any historical text. In the 1960s, a startling event occurred, beginning with a seemingly lifeless green stone. Specifically, when a construction team was working on a new industrial zone in Xi'an, they unexpectedly discovered a strange stone deep underground. Recognizing the anomaly, the workers immediately reported it to the local Department of Culture. A professional archaeological team was swiftly dispatched to the site. When they lifted the stone, no one could have anticipated what awaited them underneath. Suddenly, an entrance to a vast ancient tomb emerged before their eyes. The archaeologists stood frozen, almost as if they were standing before a door leading into a deep historical past that had been buried for millennia. However, the excitement did not last long as disappointment quickly followed. Around the tomb, there were 9 signs of looting pits. Grave robbers had been there before them. And even worse, it seemed that the tomb had been thoroughly ransacked. The suspicion was soon confirmed. Inside the tomb, everything was empty. There were no burial items, no valuable artifacts, except for a massive coffin weighing 3 tons. Perhaps due to its sheer weight, the grave robbers had been forced to leave it behind. The archaeologists decided to focus all their resources on excavating this coffin. Upon opening it, they discovered the remains of a 3rd-rank official from the Tang dynasty, a position that was not too high but still demonstrated the respect and significance of the tomb. However, the biggest surprise was yet to come. When a crane was brought in to move the heavy coffin, the archaeologists were stunned by what appeared beneath it. A real treasure, over 80 precious ancient ceramic statues buried under the bottom of the coffin. These were the famous Tang Sankai, colorful glazed pottery figurines from the Tang dynasty, considered the pinnacle of ancient Chinese ceramic art. Of course, it was no accident that the tomb's owner had gone to such lengths to hide these treasures in such an unexpected place. He did not use traps, nor did he place gold, silver, or jewels in plain sight of thieves. He employed a far more clever strategy, hiding the most important treasures where no one would think to look. This hiding in plain sight strategy successfully fooled the grave robbers, and as a result, the 80 statues remained intact after more than 1,000 years of burial. The Tang Sankai, true to its name, features 3 main colors: gold, green, and ivory white. Each statue is a painstaking work of art, having undergone 2 complex firings, creating vibrant and mesmerizing multicolored glazes. The intricate depictions of warriors, camels, and palace women reflect the life, aesthetics, and power of the Tang dynasty. Today, these statues are not just archaeological relics. They are a living testament to a brilliant era of Chinese culture, a precious heritage left by our ancestors, not just for the Chinese people, but for all of humanity. Have you ever wondered if beneath your feet, deep within the earth, there might be a 1,000-year-old secret hiding? And how many more treasures remain buried, waiting to be uncovered in this sacred land of Xi'an and all over the world? If you haven't thought about it, let me take you on a journey around the globe to explore what archaeologists have discovered beneath the mysterious ground in recent years. The ancient coffin exudes a unique fragrance. In March 2001, while construction was underway in Nangshan district in the city of Suzhou, Anhui Province, a region that has experienced many upheavals throughout Chinese history, an unexpected event occurred. A worker operating an excavator, digging about 13 feet deep, suddenly stopped when he encountered an unusual structure underground. Little did he know, this encounter with the excavator that day would mark the beginning of a mystery that would last over 2 decades. Immediately, the project supervisor decided to halt the construction and report the discovery to the local authorities. Within hours, an archaeological team arrived, sealed off the area, and began the excavation with the utmost caution. What they found beneath the soil was an ancient tomb complex containing two coffins placed side by side, which were later referred to as Coffin 1 and Coffin 2. Coffin 1 appeared simple and unremarkable. The body inside had decomposed severely and held little archaeological value. But when the experts moved on to Coffin 2, a completely different atmosphere took over. This coffin was protected by two meticulously crafted wooden shells, painted copper in color, made from rare cypress wood, a material known for its resistance to termites and mold. The shells were separated by a 16-inch thick layer of lime, and inside was a coffin made of the rare and valuable Trin Nam wood, painted a deep red. The mystery deepened as the experts began to open the coffin. A strange, delicate fragrance, reminiscent of flowers, unexpectedly spread around the area. This was not typical when opening ancient tombs, as most bodies would have decomposed or would emit a foul odor. But not this time. What they uncovered was a female body remarkably well preserved. The woman was dressed in Qing dynasty attire, her black hair neatly tied at the back, her skin smooth, and her body still soft. The joints were still flexible, and her body was in near-perfect condition. This was unprecedented in any embalmed corpse excavation in China. Her figure was slender, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, and weighing 97 pounds, with an oval face and feet bound in the 3-inch lotus style, a characteristic of aristocratic women during the Qing dynasty. According to archaeologist Huang, when he first saw the body, he exclaimed, "She looks like she's sleeping, a peaceful and mysterious beauty, as though time stopped at the last moment of her life." However, this beauty concealed a chilling truth. Upon her neck, the experts discovered a deep T-shaped cut, clearly inflicted by a sharp sword. The startling thing was, there were no signs of struggling or resistance on the body. She may have died in resignation or been forced to accept her fate. The question arose, who was this mysterious woman? Why did she meet such a tragic death but still receive a royal burial fit for a concubine? The burial items found in the tomb suggested that she may have belonged to the royal family. Gold and silver jewelry, a string of precious beads, and coins from the Kangxi period all pointed to her noble status. Some theories suggested that this could be Huang, the famous concubine of Emperor Qianlong, who was said to have a natural fragrance. However, historical records indicate that Rong Fi, the model for Huang, died at 54 years old, not at the age of 30 as this mummy was. This theory was quickly dismissed. The mystery deepened further with no inscriptions, no records in the history of the Qing dynasty, or any historical texts from Nangshan County. Everything was silent. Only one plausible scientific hypothesis was put forward to explain the excellent preservation of the body: the fatal sword wound. It caused rapid blood loss, drying the body and preventing decomposition in the moist soil. Combined with the protective wooden shells and the embalming herbs, she had been able to sleep undisturbed for more than 200 years. So, who was she? Why did she die young? Why was she buried like a noblewoman? To this day, these questions remain unanswered. What do you think about this discovery? Feel free to leave your thoughts below, and let's discuss it together. The rare mummy and strange tattoos. In June 2008, a remarkable archaeological discovery stirred the scientific community when researchers uncovered the mummy of a man buried deep underground in the town of Rontoy, Peru. What made this discovery extraordinary was that the mummy was not just an ancient corpse, but a vivid testament to the social stratification in ancient Shaanxi society. What particularly caught the attention of archaeologists were the metal plates attached to the man's eyes, a rare and meaningful detail that indicated the man had once belonged to the upper class and held an important social position in his community. This mummy was exceptionally well preserved, with delicate woven fabrics covering the body, accompanied by items such as silver beads, wooden figurines, and notably corn, the primary food source of the local people. The metal plates, made of copper and silver, were placed over the eyes and mouth, signaling the wealth and power that the individual once held. The face of the mummy was also covered with a layer of red paint made from mercury sulfide, a material commonly used in the burial rituals of the aristocracy, further solidifying the man's higher status compared to other societal classes. Another fascinating detail was the tattoo on the man's knee, a form of decoration believed by archaeologists to have been exclusive to the upper classes. Kit Nelson, an anthropologist from Tulane University who uncovered the mummy and removed the fabric wrapping, explained that the tattoo was significant to the Shaanxi people and served as a mark of identification for the society's leaders. However, with modern techniques like X-rays, no significant injuries were found on the man's bones, raising suspicions that he may have died from an illness, though the exact cause of death has not been confirmed. The presence of unusual items, such as 2 cotton puffs, 1 white, 1 brown, and objects like string bracelets and a hollow wool pouch suggest that the man was not only a spiritual leader, but also closely connected with religious rituals and customs of the community. This is further supported by the historical context of Rantoi. During the peak of the Shaanxi civilization, Rantoi was a central city for a thriving agricultural community, surrounded by vast cornfields and impressive architecture. Although researchers have yet to determine the exact size of the city in ancient times, the discoveries at the site reveal that Rantoi was once an important area for the Shaanxi people. It was also closely linked to the Huara River Valley, an essential region for the Andean civilization. Despite modern industrial developments such as railroads, which have destroyed many ancient structures, discoveries like the Kiko Rantoi mummy continue to offer new insights into the history of ancient Andean people. From the finely woven fabric to the valuable metal plates to the ceremonial objects and religious artifacts, everything indicates that this man was a person of significant influence in his society, possibly a religious leader or a high-ranking official during the golden age of the Shaanxi civilization. As you can see, each of these discoveries not only illuminates secrets of the past, but also brings us a step closer to understanding the vibrant and mysterious civilization that existed centuries ago, leaving an indelible mark in the soil of Peru. Mass grave from the 15th century in London. When a team of workers was constructing the high-speed Crossrail subway tunnel in London, they unexpectedly opened a window into the past, taking us back to one of the most horrifying moments in human history, the 15th century Black Death pandemic. During the construction, workers discovered a special burial site containing 13 skeletons, believed to be the remains of unfortunate victims of the devastating plague that claimed tens of millions of lives, about 1/3 of Europe's population at the time. Known as the Black Death, the plague swept across Europe in the 15th century, and London was no exception. In fact, the epidemic is believed to have wiped out around 1/5 of the city's population, mainly affecting the poor and working class who suffered most due to dire living conditions. These graves, buried beneath what is now modern-day London, are vivid remnants of a tragic era. The burial pit, approximately 18 feet in diameter, contained 13 skeletons laid out in 2 straight rows, indicating an organized grave, possibly belonging to the earliest victims of the outbreak, when deaths had not yet overwhelmed burial systems and care was still taken in the process. Although these remains have been underground for over 600 years and no longer pose any health risk, they offer invaluable opportunities for researchers to study the development and spread of the plague, one of the most impactful diseases in human history. Archaeologists analyzed DNA samples from the bones and identified the Yersinia pestis bacterium, the main cause of the plague that killed millions. This research not only sheds light on how the disease spread, but also raises new questions about medical history and ancient disease prevention methods. Archaeologist Nick Elsden, one of the researchers involved, said, "We can visualize the lives of 15th century people. The skeletons show signs of hard labor, revealing these were working-class individuals in London society at the time. These remains reflect not only the suffering caused by the plague, but also the daily lives and struggles of the impoverished, who bore the brunt of the epidemic's devastation." The site where these graves were found isn't the first to reveal secrets of the past. During previous Crossrail construction phases, archaeologists unearthed numerous valuable artifacts from various periods, ranging from the Bronze Age to items linked to Britain's largest amber room. In April 2011, while digging continued, workers uncovered hundreds more skeletons alongside valuable artifacts, suggesting that future excavations could reveal even more insights. These discoveries are not just significant archaeological finds, they are portals into history, enhancing our understanding of culture and the harsh realities of pandemics that once ravaged humanity. Stretching over 73 miles and inaugurated in 2018, the Crossrail project has brought major transformations to London's transportation network while contributing greatly to the exploration, preservation, and deeper understanding of the city's rich history. These pieces of the past, found amid modern construction, serve as a powerful reminder that beneath every layer of earth, history continues to whisper its stories. Gold jewelry from 300 years ago. At a farm on the island of Zealand, Denmark, a team of archaeologists and volunteers made an unexpected discovery while using metal detectors to search for ancient artifacts. Among the finds were several gold items, including a 2.9-inch long piece of jewelry shaped like an animal head with rounded ears and eyes, believed to be part of a necklace. Interestingly, the piece is made of bronze alloy. According to archaeologist Ole Thurup Kastholm from the Roskilde Museum, this item may symbolize art and belief systems from the Viking Age. He explained, "This animal image holds a very special place in Viking art. It not only showcases exquisite craftsmanship, but also relates to shamanistic practices, a spiritual bridge between the physical and non-physical worlds. This suggests that Viking jewelry was not merely decorative, but also held spiritual and symbolic power, likely worn by elite members of Viking society." Another noteworthy discovery from the site was a Christian cross, believed to have arrived from mainland Europe between AD 500 and 750. The cross is circular, gold-plated, and features a red crucifix. This raises a major question. How did a Christian artifact end up in a Viking settlement? One hypothesis is that a Christian nomad brought it to the area, or it may have been acquired through trade. Another theory proposes that a high-ranking woman in Viking society wore it as part of her attire. However, these remain early speculations. These findings raise further questions about the relationship between Viking and Christian cultures and why such precious jewelry was found in a seemingly modest agricultural settlement. The answer may lie in a legendary location called Ledre, just about 6 miles southeast of Vestervang, the site where these artifacts were discovered. According to Tom Christensen, Ledre is considered the seat of Denmark's earliest dynasties. Archaeological evidence shows that Ledre was not only wealthy, but also a cultural center, home to treasures of gold, gems, and intricate jewelry. Discoveries there, especially in the 1850s, revealed a massive hoard of gold and gemstones, highlighting the region's past prosperity. Given its proximity, it's possible that the precious items found in Vestervang belonged to individuals close to royal families, those with power or ties to Ledre's rulers. These artifacts help paint a richer picture of early Danish history and the people who once shaped it. Mysterious skeletons at the Plain of Jars in Laos. The Plain of Jars, one of the most renowned archaeological sites in Laos, has long captivated researchers and historians alike. Thousands of massive stone jars, ranging from about 3 to 10 feet in height, are scattered across the Huang Plateau, forming a mysterious landscape that hints at an ancient civilization. For decades, archaeologists have tried to uncover the purpose of these jars, but all attempts had been unsuccessful, until recently. A research team from the Australian National University, led by Dr. Dugald O'Reilly, conducted the first comprehensive excavation in the area in decades, following the initial survey that took place in the 1930s. Their latest discovery has shed new light on this ancient enigma. Back in the 1930s, French archaeologist Madeleine Kalani, who first documented the Plain of Jars, suggested the area was used for prehistoric burials. The stone jars were believed to contain cremated human remains, with each site hosting anywhere from 1 to 400 jars, each holding stories from an ancient culture. Dr. O'Reilly's team's findings have further supported Kalani's theory. During their excavation, they discovered several skeletons estimated to be as old as 2,500 years at one of the 90 jar sites. This not only confirms that the area played a significant role in ancient burial rituals, but also presents an opportunity to better understand funerary practices in prehistoric Southeast Asia. The team also identified 3 distinct burial styles at the site. One involved pits filled with human bones, topped with large limestone slabs. Another method involved interring bodies in ceramic jars. For the first time, a third type of burial was discovered, in which a skeleton was found laid out in a traditional grave. These findings are highly significant and offer valuable new data that further illuminates the burial customs of ancient people in the region. As researcher Leah Genovese noted, this discovery may mark the beginning of a new era in unraveling the secrets of the Plain of Jars. However, while the skeletons confirm that the site served as a cemetery, the exact function of the stone jars remains a major unanswered question. One of the largest jars, carved from sandstone and weighing approximately 70,000 pounds, remains particularly enigmatic. One theory proposed by Dr. O'Reilly is that the stone jars might have been used in the process of body decomposition, after which the skeletons were buried nearby. Though this theory requires further evidence, it opens a new line of inquiry that could help archaeologists learn more about the customs and spiritual beliefs of the ancient communities in the region. Through laboratory analysis and carbon isotope dating, researchers hope to gather more evidence to better understand the history, culture, and burial practices of the ancient people of the Plain of Jars. These discoveries are expected to reinforce the site's importance in Southeast Asian archaeology and deepen our understanding of a civilization that existed thousands of years ago. Without a doubt, the Plain of Jars will continue to be one of archaeology's greatest mysteries, an endless source of inspiration for those passionate about exploring the past. Have you ever visited the Plain of Jars? And do you know of any other mysteries surrounding this ancient site? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 1.9 million-year-old skeletons with preserved skin. In a groundbreaking discovery, scientists have recently unearthed two nearly intact skeletons dating back 1.9 million years. What makes this find truly revolutionary is that part of the skin remains preserved on one of the skeletons, found in the Malapa Cave in South Africa. This marks the first time in history that soft tissue has been recovered from a human ancestor fossil, offering scientists a golden opportunity to extract ancient DNA and retrace the path of human evolution with unprecedented accuracy. The project is led by Professor Chris Stringer, a leading expert on human origins from the Natural History Museum in London. He named the specimen Australopithecus sediba, a name now generating intense excitement in the research community. Remarkably, although sediba had a brain size and some physical traits similar to apes, features such as the fingers, frontal brain area, teeth, pelvis, and legs show striking similarities to modern humans. This hybrid skeleton, bridging two worlds, displays the appearance of ancient ancestors while also revealing the first evolutionary steps toward becoming Homo sapiens, the humans we are today. This isn't just an archaeological discovery. It's a living clue that fills a critical gap in our evolutionary history. Based on its unique anatomical traits, many scientists believe Australopithecus sediba could be a crucial link in the transition from apes to humans. Despite having a small brain and a short stature, evolutionary advancements in smaller features, such as the hand and pelvis, clearly indicate a transformative phase. Professor Stringer added that sediba plays an essential role in shaping expert understanding of the human evolutionary journey. Today, the two precious skeletons are on display at the Natural History Museum in London, attracting millions of visitors eager to witness one of the oldest and most important links in human ancestry. What do you think? Could scientists one day reconstruct the image of our ancestors from the remaining piece of skin? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing's clear: that day may not be as far off as it once seemed. A 2,000-year-old tomb of a woman adorned in priceless jewelry. You've likely heard ancient tales of the great Roman civilization, of valiant warriors and mysterious noblewomen. But could you imagine that beneath the weathered stones of the Caucasus Mountains lies a secret slumbering for 2,000 years? A tomb, the final resting place of a woman adorned in priceless jewelry, glittering with gold and rare glass? Discovered in a family tomb in the North Caucasus, she was buried alongside a warrior and two other men. Though her identity remains unknown, the items found with her tell a compelling story. This was no ordinary woman. That much is clear from the treasures buried with her. Among them were two exquisitely crafted rings made of white glass threaded with fine gold and set with dark glass centers. These were unmistakably Roman in style, and according to expert Kadieva, they would have been unimaginably luxurious for people in the North Caucasus at that time, as the region did not produce glass. Her shoes were decorated with glass beads and deep red carnelian stones, a gemstone once seen as a symbol of power and wealth. Most striking of all was a gold pendant adorned with amethyst, believed to be the final piece of jewelry she wore into the afterlife. These details have led archaeologists to believe that she was not just a noblewoman, but possibly the wife or close relative of an Atlantic warrior, members of a nomadic people who migrated to the area during the 1st and 2nd centuries. Archaeologist Kadieva explained, wealthy warriors from the North Caucasus often gifted their most precious jewelry to the people they loved most. This woman was likely a mother, wife, or sister of a powerful warrior, and very possibly the wife of a tribal leader of high status. But the mystery doesn't end there. While no one knows for certain how the 4 people in the tomb died, the condition of their remains suggests they all died around the same time, a fact that has only deepened researchers' curiosity. Was this the result of a battle, a sacrificial ritual, or a tragedy of love and loyalty? Can you answer that? The beautiful woman in the royal tomb, overflowing with gold. In the Valley of the Kings, but not the one in Egypt. This Valley of the Kings belongs to the ancient Scythians and lies deep within Siberia. There, archaeologists recently uncovered an elaborately constructed royal tomb of a Scythian king, buried with a vast collection of gold, silver, and jewelry. But what stunned scientists most was the presence of a young woman buried beside him. Not only was she laid next to the king's body, but she was also covered in gold and ornate jewelry, clear signs that she was no ordinary person. Her burial position and the high-value grave goods suggest she once held considerable status, possibly as the king's wife or most favored consort. Yet the most puzzling part is this: no one knows how she died. While analysis shows that the king died of prostate cancer, a natural cause in ancient times, her body bears no clear signs of trauma or illness. A sudden death with no indication of violence or disease. Archaeologists suspect she may have been poisoned, possibly as part of an ancient burial ritual meant to ensure she could accompany the king into the afterlife. That theory becomes even more chilling with the discovery of 35 other skeletons within the burial complex, believed to be members of the king's retinue. Among them were men, women, children, and even 14 horses, an entourage resembling a royal court in death as in life. These findings align closely with the writings of the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, who described Scythian funeral customs. When a king died, all his loyal attendants, including family, slaves, and horses, were sacrificed to follow him into the next world. Did the young woman know her fate in advance? Or was she an unwilling victim of a brutal ritual from a culture that once ruled the steppes of Asia? That question remains unanswered. But with each layer of earth removed and every artifact unearthed, we edge closer to the truth, even if that truth sends a shiver down our spine. 2,000-year-old, jeweled and gilded relics of 2 saints in Germany. Tucked away in the serene landscape of Germany near the bustling city of Munich stands Fürstenfeld Abbey, a magnificent Baroque architectural masterpiece that holds a sacred, mysterious, and haunting secret. The jeweled skeletal remains of Saint Hyacinth of Caesarea and Saint Clemens, 2 revered Christian martyrs. Enclosed in ancient glass coffins, these bones are not mere remnants of time, but living testaments to a profound and steadfast faith, a faith for which they gave their lives. Saint Hyacinth, a name unfamiliar to many, embodies a story that sends chills down the spine of anyone who hears it. He died in AD 108 at the age of just 12, an age when children today are still in school. According to legend, young Hyacinth was imprisoned and tortured in Rome for refusing to worship the ancient Roman gods. Facing death, he remained unwavering in his beliefs. When forced to eat meat, a food forbidden in Christianity at the time, he chose to starve, ultimately dying of hunger, his loyalty to God unbroken. What makes his remains especially striking is the crown placed upon his skull and the lower jaw inlaid with gemstones, symbols of nobility and the extraordinary sacrifice of a teenage saint. Lying beside Saint Hyacinth are the remains of Saint Clemens, a figure no less heroic. He died in Rome in AD 95, executed by beheading, a brutal punishment imposed by the Roman Empire on those who refused to abandon their Christian faith. Though nearly 2 millennia have passed since that bloody death, St. Clement's bones are carefully preserved within the church, serving as a sacred relic and a powerful reminder of the cost of religious freedom and the indomitable strength of belief. Fürstenfeld Abbey, not only significant for its historical and religious value, is also tied to a poignant story of repentance. Built in the mid-13th century by Louis II, Duke of Bavaria, the abbey was commissioned under the order of Pope Alexander IV as an act of penance for the duke's murder of his first wife. From the foundation of that sin rose a monument of devotion and sanctity, reminding future generations that light can emerge from darkness and faith can redeem even the most flawed souls. Today, when visitors step into Fürstenfeld Abbey, they are not only awestruck by its majestic architecture, but also enveloped by an atmosphere of sacredness, where the bones of two saints silently recount their tales of violence, conviction, and sacrifice. Their story is not merely of the past, it is a solemn reminder for the present that sometimes the most precious thing a person can hold on to is their faith. Have you ever heard of this place? If given the chance, would you like to witness these storied relics of the glorious past? 44,000-year-old nose ornament of ancient Australian Aboriginals. In a remote cave nestled within the wilds of the Kimberley region in Western Australia, where time seems to have stood still for tens of thousands of years, Professor Sue O'Connor of the Australian National University made a groundbreaking discovery during a fateful excavation. She unearthed an exquisitely crafted artifact, roughly 5 inches long. At first, you might imagine some crude prehistoric tool, but no. What lay beneath the red earth turned out to be a very specific type of adornment, a nose ornament made entirely of bone. What stunned scientists even more was its age, dating back approximately 44,000 years before the present, making it the oldest known bone jewelry ever crafted by humans. But the discovery didn't stop there. The research team examined the intricate details of the artifact, and under a microscope, Dr. Michelle Langley, O'Connor's colleague, observed fine scratch marks and traces of red ochre pigment along its edges. These marks weren't the result of time, but clear evidence that it had been shaped using stone tools, a complex and sophisticated technique, especially for the Paleolithic era. When compared to nose ornaments and sewing needles used by indigenous Australians in the 19th and 20th centuries, researchers found striking similarities, not only in shape, but also in how they were worn and dyed with ochre, a pigment considered sacred in many ancient cultures. Additionally, the bone fragment showed a distinctive crack, believed to be caused by a twisting and pushing motion, exactly the kind of stress generated when a nose ornament is inserted through the nasal septum. So how were ancient Australians, more than 44,000 years ago, able to craft such a delicate piece of jewelry? The answer may lie in the Great Human Migration. Bone crafting techniques are believed to have first developed in Africa and were likely carried by early humans as they migrated to new lands, including Australia. There, they adapted to their environment, substituting ivory and horn, common in Africa, with kangaroo bone, which is tough, easy to pierce, and well-suited for ornamentation. This discovery overturns outdated theories that prehistoric indigenous Australians had lost the craft skills of their ancestors. This handcrafted bone, whether a nose ornament or a needle, shows that these people had complex thinking, refined craftsmanship, and a strong sense of cultural identity, said Dr. Langley. And that's what makes the find truly remarkable. It's not just an ancient object, but a vivid testament to the spirit, artistry, and humanity that has existed in Australia since the dawn of time. Over 10,000-year-old Mastadon bones discovered. Recently in the state of Michigan, 2 ordinary men, neither archaeologists nor equipped with any specialized tools, stumbled upon an extraordinary find using nothing more than shovels and persistence. In the backyard of Eric Witzke, they unearthed 42 massive fossilized bones belonging to an ancient mastodon, estimated to be between 10,000 and 14,000 years old. The discovery happened not in some remote wilderness, but right beneath the ground where Witzke lived, in a place he never imagined would be the final resting place of a prehistoric creature. Alongside his neighbor, Daniel Lapointe, the pair spent 4 full days digging manually, without rest, to retrieve each precious fossilized piece. Among the remains were leg bones, shoulder bones, hip bones, vertebrae, and, most striking of all, 2 enormous curved tusks. All of these belong to a male mastodon, about 37 years old, that once roamed this land during the late Ice Age. When experts from the University of Michigan Museum of Paleontology arrived on site, they discovered cut marks and incisions on the bones, evidence suggesting that the animal had likely been hunted and butchered by prehistoric humans for food, right where it fell. The bones were then buried under layers of cold soil for millennia. Speaking to the press, Dr. Daniel Fisher, director of the museum, emphasized, "The scientific value of discoveries like this isn't in how complete or grand the skeleton is. It's in the new insights and information it gives us. Indeed, each bone is a piece of the puzzle that helps us understand more about prehistoric life, the environment, and the relationship between humans and animals." With over 330 Mastadon fossil finds recorded in Michigan in the past year alone, the state is fast becoming a vast, largely untapped archaeological treasure trove. So what exactly is a mastodon? For those unfamiliar, mastodons are close relatives of modern elephants, belonging to the now extinct mammoth genus. They looked somewhat similar to mammoths, but had different diets. Mastodons primarily lived in forested areas, feeding on pine cones and leaves, using their long trunks and large molars to strip foliage. Unlike mammoths, which were grazers that lived on cold, grassy plains. As you can see, sometimes even the most ordinary chance events can lead to discoveries of immense scientific value and serve as a powerful reminder that Earth's ancient past isn't far away at all. In fact, it may be lying just beneath our feet, waiting to be unearthed and to tell its story. 10,000-year-old human skeleton, found in Mexico. On August 24, 2024, archaeologists in Mexico announced the discovery of a human skeleton dating back between 10,000 and 14,000 years, recovered from a submerged cave on the Yucatan Peninsula in the state of Quintana Roo. The skeleton was later dubbed the Chaanhol Youth, named after the cave where it was found, and is considered an extraordinarily valuable archaeological discovery. However, the story behind the find was anything but simple. The cave, where the remains were located, extends about 1,178 feet in length and reaches a depth of approximately 27 feet. It is narrow, water-filled, and filled with sharp stalagmites, making access extremely dangerous. Although archaeologists first identified the skeleton in 2006, it took years of meticulous planning and effort to safely recover it. According to scientists, the skeleton belonged to a young individual, likely buried during the end of the Pleistocene epoch, a time when sea levels were around 492 feet lower than they are today. So far, about 60% of the skeleton has been restored, including limbs, spine, ribcage, skull, and several teeth. However, researchers estimate that it will take several more months to determine vital information such as the person's gender, cause of death, and age at death. What makes the Chaanhol Youth even more significant is that this skeleton is not just another ancient burial. It plays a crucial role in validating alternative theories about the first inhabitants of the Americas. Traditionally, it was believed that the Clovis people, who migrated from North Asia via the Bering Land Bridge, were the first to settle the continent at the end of the Ice Age. But recent discoveries in Quintana Roo caves, where 4 ancient skeletons have now been found, point to an earlier wave of migration, possibly originating from Southeast Asia, predating the Clovis people. This not only challenges our current understanding of early human migration, but also raises profound new questions about the journeys and hardships endured by the first settlers of the American continent. And so, if we say the Chaanhol Youth is living proof of ancient human life, a powerful reminder that we still have so much to learn about our own history, it would hardly be an exaggeration. As you can see, recent archaeological discoveries have truly shaken the scientific community and continue to spark endless curiosity among the public. From strange sites in Egypt to mysterious traces in China and South America, all of these findings challenge what we thought we knew about human history. Each discovery opens a new horizon, raising the question, could there have been civilizations, events, or creatures in the past that we have never even imagined? The biggest question remains, do we really understand our own history? Or are these strange and mysterious findings merely the tip of the iceberg, clues to a much deeper reality that science has yet to fully explain? Whether it's bizarre artifacts or never-before-seen skeletons, these discoveries are not just surprising, they're a powerful reminder that our journey to uncover the past is far from over, with many secrets still waiting to be revealed. Thanks to advancements in technology and research, we can hope that these mysteries will gradually be solved. But it's also possible that some of them will remain unsolved puzzles forever. Either way, these findings are sure to remain fascinating topics for ongoing debate and discussion. fueling scientists and the rest of us to keep exploring what really happened in our distant past. And perhaps someday not too far from now, we'll finally uncover the answers to these mysteries. What about you? What do you think about today's archaeological discoveries? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give this channel a like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any exciting new findings. For now, goodbye and see you next time.